Hi. Uh-oh. Welcome back. And yes, this is my baby. He's gonna be chilling back here unless he starts fussing, but he's pretty cool right now. This is his favorite hangout spot, which is on the couch right by us. He doesn't really like to be in his bassinet during the daytime. He just ate, so don't worry, he's comfortable. This is just where he likes to chill. He is 3 weeks old today. I wanted to just talk about my birth experience. I like to hear about other people's birth experiences here on the internet, so I just wanted to talk about mine. Let's just say it was not as smooth as it could have been. Nobody anticipates a rocky birth experience, but here we are. But I don't really have a plan about how this will go, so I'm just going to dive right into it. I wanted to do this while he took his nap, but he's kind of refusing to nap. So he's about 3 weeks old now, and I'm going to start right about a week before I gave birth. He actually came right on his due date, which according to my husband, less than 5% of babies are born on their due date. So I did not fact check this, but fun fact, he was born right on his due date. Hooray. A week before that Wednesday was my doctor's appointment. I did a cervical check, my doctor, with my OB, and she said that it doesn't seem like he's going to come on his due date, and you know, with the first pregnancy, usually they come a little later. I was feeling pretty discouraged because at that point I was just kind of so done being pregnant. I was tired, I was achy, and I know all pregnant women who's been through this knows the feeling. So she was talking about if like by the following week you're not there yet, we can talk about inducing, or you can just do things that can really help speed things along, which is, you know, exercise, sit on a medicine ball, mainly exercise. I did all those things. I went to the gym about 3-4 times after that to get some exercise, do some stretches, prenatal stretches. Yeah, I was looking up YouTube tutorials, prenatal stretches, and then I had a medicine ball at home. Okay, now I'm holding him. He's below the camera. Yeah, I think he just needed some attention. During that week, I was already experiencing some cramping, which I heard that was early signs of labor. My doctor asked me, am I spotting? Because that's also a sign of labor. And at that point, I was not spotting. But then Saturday, I started spotting. And that's what they call a bloody show. Like I was having discharge, you know, TMI, but you know, these are all signs, symptoms of that you're about to go into labor. So on Saturday morning, I woke up and I was spotting. I'm like, okay, great, this is a great sign. And then I was feeling crampy, more crampy than usual. But Saturday I was still out and about doing things, errands. Fast forward, Monday is actually his due date. I woke up at 4:30 a.m. and that was when I started getting contractions. Kind of just feels like a moment of very intense gas, almost like you have to go to the bathroom. And then I woke up from the pain and it was happening kind of frequent, probably once every few minutes. I actually woke my husband up to tell him I want to go to the hospital, but then he said that it's probably just a false alarm, because when we went to the doctor, it didn't seem like he was going to come on my due date. He was going to come a few days later. I did actually try to sleep it off, but it kept happening until like 8 a.m. It was getting really bad. We waited until my OBGYN office opened, and we called them and told them what was happening, and they said, yeah, just go to the hospital. So we did, and by 10-ish, we arrived where I was admitted. At that point, I was contracting once every 2 minutes, and then I thought I should be pretty close to labor. They started putting wires on me. They monitored my baby. The doctor came and then did another cervical check on me, which is super duper painful, by the way, because they're pretty much just trying to stick their whole hand inside of you. So that was pretty traumatic. I was only 2 centimeters dilated. I'm like, 2 centimeters? I'm contracting every 2 minutes. Actually a little less. They're like, all right, if you still need to be at least 6, 7, 8 centimeters dilated, and it's about an hour for every half a centimeter. I actually can't really remember the exact math though, but if I were to wait to be fully dilated, it would be at least 6 to 8 hours, which is crazy to be sitting and lying down in that pain. And meanwhile, they were monitoring the baby. Heartbeat was started off okay. This was when the scary part happened. A doctor came in and said, our baby's heartbeat is dropping. For a few minutes at a time, it would go down to like 60 beats per minute, BPM, which for a baby, for a fetus is very low. Fetuses in the womb, their heartbeat should be around 130, sometimes up to 160. So the fact that his heartbeat kept dropping for a few minutes at a time at few minute intervals was very concerning. But clearly he's in distress. That's why it's happening. They had two theories. He's probably running low on oxygen. It could be that a cord is wrapped around him, or he pooped on the inside. And spoiler alert, I'm just gonna spoil it, that is what happened. He did poop inside the womb, probably due to stress, probably due to my contractions. He was panicking. Makes me sad to think that he was in the womb filled with poop. That makes me feel so bad. Oh, by the way, baby's first poop is called meconium, and it's just like a liquid, black liquid. You guys, if you are interested, you can look it up what that's like. So at that point, I believe it was an hour or two after I was admitted, the doctor's like, if his heartbeat keeps dropping, there's no way we can wait. We can't wait for you to dilate naturally, because he can't be in there for 6 to 8 hours in distress with oxygen dropping. That's very dangerous. We need to seriously consider doing a C-section. I panicked. I was like, no, I really don't want to. I would like to avoid a C-section and a surgery if possible. It's ultimately up to me, but they really recommend it because they're scared to keep the baby in distress. Fast forward another hour or two maybe, they just kept continuing to monitor the baby. They moved me to another room, to the room where they said I would be giving birth. And I started to, like, you know, go on my phone, watch TV, but then they came in and said, all right, the baby's heart rate is dropping again. And at that point, they're like, no, our priority is to make sure that you, the mother, and the baby leave the hospital alive. When that day started, I never considered that I would, you know, we wouldn't. When they said that, I just freaked out. It was a lot because people kept coming in and out and they kept talking to each other. Monitors keep beeping. They pretty much barely gave me an option. They're like, no, we have to do a C-section. And then they gave me a form to fill out. I had to fill it out. They did not want to risk the baby inside for too long. Shortly after I filled it out, people kept coming in and out. They wheeled me to the operation room. They told me that I would be awake for the whole thing. They would just numb me from the waist down. I'm like, okay, that sounds good. I didn't want to be put under. Like, have you ever been wheeled into an emergency surgery before? Like, everybody is just shuffling, they're preparing, they're shouting. Everybody's just trying to prep me for surgery. The lights above, they turned on, you know, those surgical lights. I started bawling my eyes out. They were just kept telling me the heart rate keeps dropping, keeps dropping. So then very last minute, they're like, we're gonna have to put you down under. And I'm just like, oh my God, why? They forced the anesthesia mask on me. Before they did that, I was like, am I gonna feel anything? Unfortunately, a week prior, I watched a video about how some man undergone surgery, but they forgot to put anesthesia on him, so he fell asleep, but he felt everything. So that was just really poor timing on my part. They just put me down under. I was crying and fell asleep within seconds. I guess a lot happened in those seconds. I woke up about a couple hours later. It was pretty woozy at the time. I was still pretty my husband, I think he was one of the first people I saw. He came up to me and he just said, he's here. That feeling. And he said, you know, 10 fingers, 10 toes. It was like the whole experience it's pretty crazy. He showed me a picture of what the baby looked like. I feel like I kind of took the easy way out in the sense that, you know, I was just put to sleep when I woke up, baby's here. Obviously I didn't see the baby. I'm sure they put him at NICU at that time, and I was in some random room where they were monitoring me until I woke up. The whole surgery itself took probably 5 to 10 minutes. And right when the baby came out, he had to be resuscitated because he ingested the meconium. So they had to, you know, suction it out. He needed help breathing. A while later, he started breathing on his own, and he didn't need all the breathing assistance. I'm glad that I was under for that, because if I heard that my baby came out not breathing and needed to be resuscitated, I don't know what I would have done. It would just have been a very traumatic experience on top of what I was already experiencing. So the fact that I slept through that, and when I woke up he was already fine, he was at NICU, it was a blessing. Even now I wonder like what I could have done differently. Why did this happen, that he was under so much stress? Everybody would just say that it just happens sometimes. There's nothing that you did, nothing that you could have done, and that we came at the hospital at the right time. If he was in my womb for another hour or two in that kind of distress, the worst could have happened. But thank goodness he's here. He's right here below the frame. He's chilling. He's a very good baby right now. The first day I was obviously on a lot of painkillers. I was numb. I didn't feel too much pain. But then the next day, waking up, could barely move. And throughout the middle of the night, doctors and nurses keep checking up on you every few hours, checking your vitals, just asking how you're doing. So it's kind of hard to get very good sleep. The next day, they kind of encourage you to walk because walking will help you heal faster. And I think that's true, but I was just in too much pain still. And the following day, I had to be on a wheelchair to be wheeled up to go to NICU to see my baby for the first time. And it was just so surreal to see what I created. Like, I've been carrying him in my belly for 9 months, and to see him in person, meeting for the first time, it was pretty surreal. And he's beautiful, if I may say so myself. He was perfect. It was just sad to see him in a little incubator, to see my son all hooked up to all these machines and monitors in an incubator. But I mean, otherwise he looked pretty peaceful. He was just sleeping. He was breathing really fast. But the scary thing is, they still said that his heart rate kept dropping at some times, which is why they had to monitor him. We gave birth on a Monday. They never told us when he could get discharged. I got discharged on Thursday, but really they said I could have been discharged on Wednesday. Oh, my leg fell asleep. It didn't sound like my baby could leave at that point yet. I said, let me stay another night and hopefully we could get discharged together on Thursday. Come Thursday, they want to still monitor him for another day. Or actually, they didn't even say. They said they still need to monitor him, run some tests on his heart to make sure that there's nothing wrong. And plus, he was throwing up a lot, which, you know, to a new mother, I can't gauge how serious that is. It sounded really serious when they were telling me. A lot of tears were shed. The hormones are going crazy. A lot of new emotions. Every time I saw him, I just kept crying. When we had to leave on Thursday without him, it was so heartbreaking to see the empty car seat where he should have been. I just kept crying on the way home, kept crying at home. But then we returned on Friday to the hospital. We went first thing in the morning to go see him. I don't know what it was. It was all the hormones or just genuinely sadness. And we got there around 7 a.m. We were waiting for what the doctor would tell us after they run the test on his heart, monitoring his throwing up. We saw the doctor around 10 a.m.-ish, I believe. Thank goodness. The doctor told us everything looks fine. The test has on his heart. They came back okay. His heart is normal, so baby's ready to be discharged. We were so relieved when we heard the news that he was able to leave with us that Friday. Sense of relief was amazing. That was 3 weeks ago, and it was an experience. And to think that all parents probably go through something like this is just, it's amazing. All right, he's back here. I think he fell asleep. Just the whole birth giving experience was pretty surreal. I can't even begin to explain. Like, you pretty much feel all the emotions that you can possibly feel. Happiness, sadness, I'm sorry, all these other emotions I can't think right now. And that was my first time having surgery, first time staying at a hospital, and like feeling pain. I'm healing, I'm learning how to breastfeed. My husband was there with me the whole time. I don't know how I could have done it without that support. Like, he's amazing, and I don't tell him that enough. Having a newborn at home has been tiring, but we love him. We love this little guy. And yeah, so thank you for watching. If you stayed till the end to hear about my birth giving experience, that scary emergency C-section. Oh, all right. I'm going to go back to being a mom now. Hopefully I'll do more videos to share more about my experience as a new mom. Thank you. Bye.